Persia, from Cyrus to Darius, the clash of civilizations seen from the Orient. Assyrian records from the 9th century BC mention Persian tribes in Armenia. Later, they migrate northeast of Susiana. When Assyria falls, Persian tribes unite under Achaemenes. Until Cyrus, Persia is subordinated to Media. The Persian king marries a Median princess. Their son, Cyrus, must reside in the court of his Median grandfather. The young prince escapes. Persia rebels. The Medes are defeated. Cyrus inherits an imperial crown in 559 BC. Lydia is the most powerful kingdom in Asia Minor. King Croesus allies with Egypt, Sparta, and Babylon against Cyrus. The Persians take the Lydian capital Sardis. Lydia is annexed to Persia. The Lydian king becomes a Persian provincial governor. The Persian Empire now stretches to the Aegean Sea. A rebellion in Lydia is suppressed. Greek colonies surrender. Politics replaces war. Thales proposes forming a Greek confederacy, but Greek tribalism is stronger than nationalism. The Lycians resist Persia. Facing defeat, they burn their homes with their families inside. Cyrus conquers Bactria. A huge barbarian horde is subdued and pays tribute. Babylon falls to Cyrus. All of Western Asia south of the Caspian Sea is Persian. Zoroaster rises over the Babylonian and Assyrian idols. The Jews return home and rebuild Jerusalem, led by Ezra and Nehemiah. Cyrus dies fighting barbarians in the northeast. His eldest son, Cambyses, sits on the throne in 529 BC. Cambyses murders his brother. He looks for an excuse to invade Egypt. Finding out that the pharaoh has given him a fake princess, he plans a war. Persia bribes the Arabs to get safe passage through the desert. Phoenicians and Greeks provide ships and sailors. Persia invades Egypt in 525 BC. Psamatic is blockaded by land and water. Memphis falls. The pharaoh is captured. He keeps some power. Only 3 rivals remain in Africa: Carthage, the Oasis of Amun, and Ethiopia. Phoenicia refuses to fight their own colony, Carthage. Without a fleet, this campaign is abandoned. A storm buries the Persian army that marches on the Oasis of Amun. Cambyses fails to cross the Nubian desert. Ethiopia is safe for now. The pharaoh rebels. Psamatic and other conspirators are killed. Priests are flogged for their insurrection. Persia burns Egyptian idols and insults royal mummies. Egypt is reduced to a province of the empire. An impostor takes the Persian throne. The Persian impostor uses populist measures. Tributes and military service ends for 3 years. Zoroastrian temples are destroyed and Magi religion is restored. Darius I kills the impostor and takes the crown. Zoroastrian temples are rebuilt and Magism is eradicated. Darius helps the Jews to rebuild their temple. Babylonia, Susiana, Media, Assyria, Armenia, and Egypt rebel and get crushed. Conspirators are mutilated and crucified. Terror is not enough to bring lasting peace. Darius imposes uniformity in his administration. The king appoints satraps as provincial administrators. Local language, laws, and customs are permitted. Satraps collect taxes for the king but engage in abuses. Secretaries spy for the king. Persia proper is ruled by Darius. It has no regular taxation. Darius prevents rebellions with trusted troops and arranged marriages. A postal system and coinage add to the stability of the state. Darius conquers Punjab and Sindhi in 507 BC. Natural barriers leave only the west as an option for future expansion. That makes Greece a target. An enslaved Greek physician heals Darius and his queen. He is freed and escorted home. Darius gets reports on Greece and Italy. Persia plans to invade Europe. The expedition is delayed by the troublesome Scyths. Darius enters Thrace. The army crosses the Danube. The barbarians are struck by the Persian might. 80,000 of their soldiers are left in Thrace and subdue it. The Macedonian king becomes a Persian vassal. This humiliation will be avenged by Alexander. Greek towns in Asia Minor rebel. Athens supports them. Greeks take Sardis. The capital of Asia Minor is in ashes. The Persians win. Rebels are relocated. Darius plans to punish Athens. Darius secures the loyalty of Greeks in Asia Minor. Persians march through Thrace and Macedonia. A storm sinks 20,000 Persians. Thracians rebel. Persians retreat. In 490 BC, Darius launches a great fleet. The Persians outnumber the Greeks 10 to 1. The Greeks win at Marathon. Darius plans revenge for 3 years. The largest army in history is ready to take Europe. Egyptian revolt delays the Third Persian invasion. Darius dies at age 63. Xerxes inherits the throne. He suppresses a revolt in Babylon in 485 BC. Xerxes crushes an Egyptian insurrection. Persia prepares 4 years for an invasion of Greece. The army will have support from thousands of ships. Storehouses are filled with grain along the army's way. Xerxes builds a bridge connecting Asia Minor with Thrace with 2 rows of boats. A storm destroys the bridge. The builders are killed. In 481 BC, 49 nations invade. 1,800,000 men attack the cradle of our civilization. 300 Spartans fight to the death at Thermopylae. 20,000 Persians perish. Among the dead are the elite unit of immortals. Athens destroys the Persian fleet at Salamis. Xerxes returns in disgrace. In 480 BC, Persia takes Athens. Soon the Persians get decimated at Plataea. Thrace and Macedonia regain their independence. Greek islands kick out the Persian rulers. The Greek offensive in Asia Minor ends in discord. Xerxes sinks in vices, cruelty, and intrigue in his court. After 20 years as king, he is murdered. Artaxerxes usurps the throne in 465 BC. Egypt rebels in 460 BC. Libya and Athens help. Persia loses Memphis. Memphis is retaken. The Athenian fleet is sunk. Greeks rebuild a new fleet. Salamis sees a new big naval victory for Athens. Persia abandons its dream to conquer Europe. Greece and Persia divide the Mediterranean. Their first 50-year war ends. The satrap of Syria rebels. Persia must seek peace. Artaxerxes dies in 425 BC. 2 successors are murdered. Darius Notus rules 19 years. Kings and rebels hire Greeks. Athens loses a war in Sicily. Darius reimposes tributes on Greek cities. Persia bribes Athenians and Spartans to fight each other. Artaxerxes II rises in 407 BC. His brother Cyrus rebels. Cyrus is killed at Cunaxa. His Spartan mercenaries retreat. 6 more years of wars. 6 years of negotiations. Peace between Persia and Greece in 387 BC. Artaxerxes II rules 46 years. Ochus takes the crown. He murders all his rivals. Persia reconquers Egypt. Sidon burns for insurrection. Persia supports Thrace against Macedonia. Ochus is killed in 338 BC. Philip of Macedon gets assassinated in 336 BC. Another Darius rises in Persia while Alexander inherits the Macedonian crown. Persia fears invasion. Alexander conquers Asia Minor in 334 BC. 500,000 Persians lose a battle at Issus in 333 BC. Alexander conquers Egypt. Darius begs for peace. Alexander scoffs. 25 nations send 1,000,000 men against Macedonia. A final battle begins near Nineveh in 331 BC. It's David against Goliath. Darius has huge advantage in numbers at an open field. Persia has chariots, cavalry, infantry, and elephants. The Macedonians are outnumbered 20 to 1. Alexander attacks. Darius flees and gets killed. Alexander buries his foe with honors in Persepolis. The age of Persia is over.